This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats are part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Friday of the 30th week of the year. Our gospel reading is Luke chapter 14, verses 1 to 6. On a Sabbath, Jesus went to dine at the home of one of the leading Pharisees, and the people there were observing him carefully. In front of him there was a man suffering from dropsy. Jesus spoke to the scholars of the law and the Pharisees in reply, asking, "Is it lawful to cure on the Sabbath or not?" But they kept silent. So he took the man, and after he had healed him, dismissed him. Then he said to them, "Who among you, if your son or ox falls into a cistern, would not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day?" But they were unable to answer his question. I think of this passage as a keep first things first principle. Now, what's the point behind the Sabbath? To honor God. And so as a general principle, you don't do work on the Sabbath. Why? Because you want to keep your focus and attention on God, praising God, glorifying God, prayer, a time where community, family are all focused on the Lord. Okay, so they had a lot of different rules and regulations to say, don't do this work. Well, here's a man who's suffering. Now, it's the Sabbath. Are you allowed to heal? And they won't respond. They won't answer. Because if they say, no, it's wrong, you got this poor guy who's suffering and Jesus just cured him. What are they going to do? Say that's bad? And if they say, you should cure on the Sabbath, then people are going to say, well, you made all these rules and you've been so prohibitive. Now, the fact that they won't answer the question, in the face of the miracle of Jesus healing a man and then sending him on his way, it's meant to remind us that, folks, we can get caught in the same loop. You know, we can get bound up by our own rules, maybe some of our own limitations, and they can become so important that we lose sight of what's most important. And here Jesus lays it out. Look, if your kid or your beast of burden falls into a well, you're going to save your kid. You're going to save the animal. That means you're going to do work. Why? Because it's life and death. Because it's that serious. It's not a frivolous point. It's a point that's meant to say that the Sabbath is meant to keep our focus on God. But that doesn't mean that we, in the face of life and death issues, don't respond. You got to keep the first things first, and you have to keep them in perspective. Well, folks, today for us, we got to apply the same rule. Are we keeping the most important things at the center of our life and the top of the list? Are we keeping first things first? Our love for God, our love for one another, our willingness to forgive, the cultivation of the wise stewardship of the resources we've been entrusted to. Are we letting our faith guide us? Or are we putting our faith in a pigeonhole, a little box, and we only put it out on Sundays or at Christmas and Easter? Is our faith and the gift of faith and the teaching of the faith and the love for Jesus that comes through that faith, is that the most important thing? Is it the first thing? Now, if it is, great, put fuel on that fire. But if it's not, if I have other things ahead of Jesus, if I have things far more important in time or money than Jesus, I've got to ask this question. I've got to ask, what's first in my life? What's the most important principle in my life? How am I being directed in my life? How am I living my life? This, my friends, is where, in fact, we begin to put our focus on the Lord and allow that focus to shape us, to guide us, and to direct us. And so today, as we look at what's first, what's most important, we can have an honest discussion in our heart. If we see that the Lord is there, great. But if not, today's a good day to bring this to prayer. Lord, help me to grow closer to you. Lord, help me to grow closer to the people you've set in my life. Lord, help me to follow you in such a way that what I say and what I do is guided by and reflected by my love for you. Friends, we're works in progress. Thank goodness. May we continue to keep moving closer to Jesus each and every day. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew, and I hope this message inspires your faith. Now, if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend, and you can do me a favor by leaving a review. Please know that I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask for your prayers as well. God bless you all.